Recording has started. So first thing, download Node. You need to download Node.js. So go to this website, Node, or you can just Google Node download. Node download. Then click on this. You pick your operating system and you install it on your device. After installation, that's when you can now start doing what we're about to do now. Next is, remember, we want to look at React. In fact, let's discuss what React is meant for. React, it's a JavaScript library. So instead of doing something, instead of stressing yourself to do something, with React, it makes the work faster. It makes the work faster and even better. And one reason why I like React is that it will make you to even know JavaScript the more. Generally, at least I think among the top 3 JavaScript library or framework, React is still the one that makes you to know JavaScript the more or the most among the 3 of them. The one that makes you know GS the most. So your GS will even get better when we are done with the training. Okay, next is let's go to React website. Create React app. We need to run this command. The first thing is you run this npx create React app, then the name of your app. Oh, I think you need to first install create React app. Wait, come here. Do you need to? Aha, yes. We recommend you uninstall the package origin to ensure this. Okay. So on your device, run this command npx create React app, then the name of your application. So I will run this command now on my terminal. Let's open the terminal. Let's search for terminal. So this is my terminal. I want to create this on my desktop. If you are on Windows, there is a shortcut to do all of these things. Let's say let me try to mimic that. Let's say we are on Windows. We want to do this. If you're on Windows, let's assume I want to create the project inside this folder, all the React apps. There's a folder here called all the React apps, and I want to create my project inside this folder. On Windows, open the folder, open. After opening it, there will be on Windows there's usually a place for you to type at the top. I don't know if you notice. If you open a folder, it usually contains maybe the path to the current directory. Shall I get the customer answer?
Yes. I will get it.
When you go to that path and clear everything there, everything, then type cmd, press enter. I come again. When you open the folder, go to the top of that folder, somewhere around this place. Delete everything there. Type cmd there. So immediately you type cmd, what it's going to do is it will go to the terminal. It will automatically navigate to the terminal.
There's a pop-up.
Is that?
So there was a pop-up.
Yes, that's the terminal. It will open the terminal for you. It will take you to the terminal, and you will either be inside that folder right in the terminal. So we can also do something similar to that here. Open enter new terminal at folder. So we've just done the same thing. We've done the same thing now. So we're currently inside that folder, all React app. I want to create a new project inside that app. So run this command npx create React app, then the name of your app. So we're going to write it together. Let me make it bigger. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, boss.
Okay. npx create React app, then the name of your application. So what should we call the app? Let me call it checkups. So npx create React app checkups. Press enter. So to install everything that needs to be installed, this needs internet. This command needs internet.
Okay.
But before you can do this, you need to first have Node installed on your device.
Yes, boss.
Okay. So when you're about to start any project, you just put this command npx create React app and the name of the project. So download it for you. ṣé bí nǹkan táwọn ṣe ṣó ń yé wa bá ṣe ń ṣe lọ?
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
When you are.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sister Moji, you are not talking.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I guess so.
All right. So this is going to take some time. So, but while we are waiting for it to open, let me tell us about what you're going to see inside it. So let's discuss what you're going to see inside is when it's done. I will open one of the folders here. Okay, let me use this as an example. Now, when you are done, you're going to see something like this: node modules, package lock.json, package.json, public, readme, and src. You're going to see something like this. So let's discuss this one after the other. The first thing is the public folder. React makes it possible for you to build what we call SPA, single page application. I come again. React makes it possible for you to build single page applications. What's the meaning of a single page application? A single page application is like, let me go to Visual Studio Code to explain something around that part. Download, okay. Okay, so we have this file called test.html, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Yes, boss.
So let's say
Yes,
inside
sir.
this place we have welcome. Let's get another page. Inside that same folder, we have another one called, let's say, about. Let's call it about. So here, our application has 2 pages now. So, and we can have a link here, an anchor tag that links the 2 pages together, so that when I click here, it points to the about.html. But The way React works is that instead of having, these are two pages. This is one page and this is another page.
Yes.
But the way React works is that you can have just one page. I mean, your whole application, everything on your app, will be on a single page inside this single file. So then you can now ask that, does that mean that we won't be able to navigate to other pages? You will actually be able to. But technically, you only have one page. To understand how this works, let's say you have a div. I will open when that folder is, when that project that we are trying to create, that new one is done, you understand this better. So we are going to have a div here like this. And this is a div. So when we are on this page, the content of this present page will be inside this div. When we move to another page, when we move to about page, instead of putting it inside this place, it's not going to, what you're going to put here is, you can say, maybe I want to display, this is about page. This is about page. So the content of this page now will be inside this div also. Let me create a new page and call it contact page. Contact. So this is contact page. So if we are on the home page or landing page, the content of this landing page will be inside this div. If you move to the contact page, you see the text here will be inside this div also. When I move to the about page, the content of this place will be inside the same div. I don't know if you get it. We are still on this single page. Someone wants to join the class. So when we are moving from one page to another, what happens is that the content of this div will be the one to change. You are not actually leaving from one page to another. Do you understand?
Yes, boss.
Okay. So you are not moving from one page to another. You are still on the same page. But just that you are changing the content of this div. But to the user thinks you are moving from one page to another. But the reality of what is going on is that you are still on a single page. In fact, your whole application will have just one HTML file. Everything about your app will be inside this HTML file. So what you're going to be doing with React is that we'll be changing the content of this div. Please, if you don't get it, let me know. Mr. Jacob.
So I will get it. Sorry. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
Okay, sorry. I just joined too. But I can't see your screen. I don't know if it's from my own end.
I think it is. Let me stop sharing and share it.
Boss. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. Fine now. I can.
Okay. So what
it's fine now. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. So what React does is that we are just changing the content of this div.
Sorry, I'm sorry for. Sorry for drawing you back. I don't know if you've done much. Can you do maybe a recap?
Okay. Number one, you need to install Node.js. So you go to nodejs.org, you download and install it. When you are done, you run this command. npx create React app, then the name of your application. So I'm trying to explain what React is about.
Hold on, sir. Copy it. I'm trying to copy what you said I should run.
It's on the website. Go to just search create React app. npx. In fact, the class is being recorded. You will see this.
Okay, fine, no problem.
Okay. So now, I said React makes it possible to build what we call single page application. In a single page application, your whole app is actually on a single page. But to the user thinks they are moving across pages, but it's just on a single page. So when you're on the landing page, the content of the landing page will be inside this div. When you move from the landing page to another page, let's say to the contact page, the content of the contact page will be placed inside this same div. When you move to about page, the content of this place also will be inside this div. So your whole app is just on this page, and all you are doing when you are moving from one page to another, all you are just doing is to change the content of this div. Do you understand?
Okay, that is fine.
Okay. So that's where we stopped. Let's see if this one is done downloading. Okay. We are done. It's done now. Next is what's going on?
Boss.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I just want you to explain further. So you said that if we have different pages
Yes, sir.
and and we are changing from one page to another,
Yes.
that normally what is changing is that div.
In the React,
Yes. So is there any technicality behind that?
yes, React is the one handling that part. And when we look at the structure of React application now, you understand why it's behaving like that.
No problem, boss.
So let's open the new folder we just created. So I'll go to open. On the desktop, this off. Okay, this is the one. So let me just open that folder alone. Okay, this is the folder we just created. There is it. Now, inside it, we have node modules, we have public, we have SRC. So let's explain everything here. Presently, I'm explaining this public, and I said that led us to what we call single page application. I said your whole app, we have just a single page. Now, public means what, in fact, whatever you will be served to the public is being placed inside this public. Open this public. Can you see the index.html?
Yes, boss.
Okay, so this is the HTML page that will be displayed on the browser. This is the HTML page. Let's check the content of this page and look at interesting things there. Do you see this div?
Yes, boss.
So this div has an ID called root.
Root.
So what happens is that when you are on the landing page, the content of the landing page will be inside this div. When you move to another page, the content of that page goes inside this same div. When you move to yet another page, the content of that again goes inside this div. So what we are doing is that we are changing, or we are going to be, what React is going to be doing is to be changing the content of this div. So technically, we are still on this index.html page. In fact, we are not going to leave this page. We will be on this page throughout. But we will just be using React to change the content of this div. Do we understand what I just explained?
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Yes, boss.
So that means for most React applications, your whole app will have just a single HTML file.
Yes, boss.
So for now, we are not going to be touching this public folder. We are not going to touch it. But I'm just trying to show us that this public folder has a file. This is the most important file that we need here. Has a file inside it called index.html. And that is where this is the file that displays, or that's been displayed on the browser. Let's display the content of this file on the browser. To do that, go back to your terminal. CD, you want to navigate inside the folder you just created. The name of our folder is Jacobs Abina. Right?
Yes.
Okay. CD Jacobs. Then you now run npm start. npm start. When you run npm start, it will open it on the browser. Any questions so far?
Okay, so my question is, the all this running, do we have to master those things you just typed, or they are shortcuts to getting there?
When you are done creating it, it will tell, it's going to write it itself. This is throwing back an error. Module not cannot resolve web vitals. What's going on? Web vitals, I'm coming. Okay. Okay. I think the installation was incomplete. Okay. By opening your terminal, your project, and running the command npm install -. Okay. The installation wasn't complete. I don't know what stopped it. I don't expect you to face this problem at your end anyway. I don't. Oh. npm install. Okay. I think I can save the web vitals. Okay. So run the npm start again now. Okay, fine. So this is our application. I come again. To start a new project, run this command npx create a React app, then the name of your app. When you are done, cd. When you are done, cd the name of the project. You know this is my app, right?
Yes.
So that's why you have cd my app here. Ours is Jacobs, so ours will be cd Jacobs. Then when you are done, npm start. So we're going to start it. When you start it, it will run it on the browser itself. Any question?
I don't know. Can we run it again?
Please. The class is being recorded. You can just go to the record. This installation takes time. Takes time.
Okay. No problem.
Next is I've discussed the public folder, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I've discussed this index.html file also.
Yes.
Now this index.html file gets its contents from this SRC folder. There's another folder here called SRC. Can we see the SRC folder?
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
So this public folder, especially the index.html file specifically, gets its contents from this SRC. SRC stands for source. So the source of what we have or what will be displayed in the public folder is this SRC. Because you know I said the content of your page is displayed inside this inside this div. So the question you should ask me is that where is this coming from? At least from what you can see here, there's nothing inside this div.
Yes.
So then where is this coming from? What you can see on this page, where is it coming from? What happened is that this index.html or this div gets its contents from this SRC folder. Any question? Are we
Good
following?
question.
Okay. So it gets its
Yes,
contents
follow.
from this SRC folder. In this SRC folder, there is a file there called index.js. So this index.js is the one that sends content to the index.html. So this is the index.js. Let's open it together. This is it. So let's delete some things from this place. For now,
Sorry, sir. Let me get you a. Whatever we have in the div
yes, sir.
will be from the source. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Will be from the source folder.
Yes. This div,
Okay.
this div displays content on the browser. But the
Okay.
content of this div comes from you won't just come here and put text here directly.
Okay. So that means what this means is if you have um if you have more than one HTML file on this source, but all of them will be displayed on this div.
Yes, all of them.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
So this public gets its own contents from this SRC, and this index.js is the one that feeds the index.html, is the one that sends its content to this particular div. So let's go to the index.js and see how it looks like. So I will comment out virtually everything on this page. Okay. So let's discuss some of those things on this page together. In fact, for now, I will remove this. Do you see document.getElement by ID root?
Yes.
So what is happening here is that it's calling this div. It's calling this div. And it's trying
Yes.
to render whatever is here, whatever is us. It's trying to render whatever is inside this place, inside this div. So I can come here and put hello world. Hello world. So when we get to the browser, you will see hello world on the browser. React DOM is not defined. What's going on? Oh. Okay. Sorry. Can you see the hello world?
Yes, boss.
So React uses what we call JSX. Then let's explain what JSX means. JSX. JSX stands for JavaScript XML. JavaScript XML. Now, in simple terms, JSX allows you to write HTML codes directly inside the JavaScript file. You know, in our stage 2, when we did JavaScript, if you want to put something inside a div using JavaScript, you call on the ID of that div, then you do something like this, the ID dot maybe inner HTML, right? Equals
boss.
to, you can now say create a div for me. Then you close this div like this. You can put hello world there.
Yes, boss.
But now we are not using any code. Do you notice that we are not putting any code there? The one we have here is not within any code. This is possible because React uses what we call JSX. This JSX, in simple terms, it allows you to write HTML codes directly inside JavaScript. Because look at the name of this file. The name of this file is index.js, meaning that this is a JavaScript file. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
This is a JavaScript file. But JSX allows you to be able to write JavaScript codes directly inside. It allows you to be able to write HTML codes directly inside JavaScript files. So we are not going to be using this line 18 model. No, you just put it inside the place directly. Now, the reason you are able to use this JSX is because of this line 1. Import React from React.
somewhere else.
So this line 1, whenever you want to use JSX, you bring in this first line. I think even with the current version of React, you may not necessarily bring in the first line, but it's advisable that you do. I think if you don't bring in the first line, it will still work, but it's advisable that you do. But this first line is the one responsible for this JSX. That's why we're able to make use of JSX here. Any question?
We get it.
Okay. So, let's discuss something here also. I think I've explained this index.js. I said it sends its content to this index.html. Let's explain the other things we have inside this folder. Aside this src folder, we have a file called gitignore. Gitignore file, what it's meant for is that whatever you don't want to send to Git, you put it inside the gitignore file. Let's open it. You don't want to send the node modules. We are coming back to explain what this node modules is. You don't want it to send it to Git. You don't want to send everything inside this gitignore. What you are just saying is you don't want to send them to Git. You are telling Git to ignore them. So that's the gitignore file. We are going to discuss why it's important that you ignore this node modules. We are going to discuss why it is very important that you ignore it. That's why you shouldn't put it or send it to Git. Please don't remove this from this gitignore file, this single. In fact, most of the work you'll be doing will be inside this src folder. I don't think you have reasons to touch the public folder, and I don't think you have reasons to touch virtually every other thing. Most of the work you'll be doing will be inside this src folder. Okay. Then we have this package.log.json, package.json. Let's discuss this package.json. If you open the package.json, you're going to see something like this. The name of the projects. Our project name is Jacobs. Remember when we did create React app, we used Jacobs. Then this is the version, private. Now, this is our main concern now. Dependencies from its name. They are what your application depends on. They are those things inside your app that your application depends on to run. As time goes on, we are going to be installing a lot of things. You may want to do something and maybe it's not inside the React, you bring it in. Immediately you install it, it comes inside these dependencies. When you install external libraries, external things, maybe you want to do something in React and it's not available in React, we go out there, we look for the file and we install it. When you install it, you just realize that the name automatically comes here. So when you install anything, the name comes here. Note, the name comes here and the version. Do you see the version? The name and the version. The name and the version. Are we following?
Yes.
Okay. So when you install anything, the name and the version comes here. But this dependency only stores name and version. The file that you actually installed, remember the other time we installed something called Web Vitals. When we tried to run it, it first brought out an error and we installed something called Web Vitals. Now this is the name and the version. But what we actually installed is not here. I come again. This package.json is just like a register that keeps the name and version of whatever you install. It's just a register that keeps names and version of whatever you install. But that particular thing that you install is not here. This only keeps the name. It only takes record of the name and the version. But the exact thing that you installed will not be here. Do we understand? Hello?
Yes, boss.
Please, if you are lost, say I'm lost. Sam Sachs, are you following? Is Sam Sachs still with us? Probably can't hear us. Sister Moji, are you following?
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't say anything since. I don't know, probably the network.
Okay.
Yeah, I said I can't say anything since. I'll just watch the record.
Yeah.
I can't say anything since. So that's why I was not able to talk.
Okay.
I think it's the network, yes.
Okay. Maybe when you watch the recordings, Mr.
Yes,
Jacob.
I'll watch.
Okay. All right. Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob. I probably can't hear me. Newton Timus.
Boss,
Yes, sir.
I'm hearing everything you are saying, sir.
Okay, sir. So, only the names and the version comes here, but the exact thing you install does not come here. So the question is, where is that thing that we installed? Again, this place only keeps name and the version, but that exact thing that is making your application work is not here. For instance,
Yes,
the
boss.
web vitals that we installed is not here. This only keeps name and the version, but the web vitals itself goes to this node modules. Whatever you install goes to the node modules. But this package.json only keeps the name and the version. And we're going to discuss why this is very important. This only keeps name and the version. But that particular thing that makes your application work goes to, when you install anything, it goes inside these node modules. But the version and the name comes here. Now, this is why it is important. Let's go back to this index.js. Can you see import React from React? The first line.
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Yes.
So you see this React, this place is the, you are getting it from the node modules. Inside the node modules, there is a folder inside this called React. And inside it, we are bringing in something called React. I come again. Inside the place, there is a folder called React inside the node modules. Then I'm bringing in something called React. So we are importing React from React, but this React comes from the node modules. Whenever you are importing anything from the node modules, you just mention the name directly. Look at this. You see there is a dot slash at the back of this place, meaning it's not coming from the node modules. But there is nothing at the back of these ones. They are coming from the node modules. These things are present inside the node modules. The node modules is a very heavy file. Heavy folder. It's a very heavy folder. Whenever you install anything, it goes there. And because it is heavy, whenever you want to push to Git, you don't push it because it's going to take time and it will consume too much space. So you don't want to push the node modules to Git. And that is why we ignored it inside this Git ignore. You can see that it is being ignored here so that you won't accidentally push it to Git. So whatever you install goes to the node modules, but the name and the version goes to this package.json. Let's discuss why it is essential that you keep the name and the version. You see, if I push this thing to Git, remember I said the node modules will not be there.
Yes.
Now, if anybody goes to my Git account and download this project, the person will not be able to have access to the content of the node modules. Remember, I didn't push the content of the node modules to Git, right? Hello, we've ignored it. We've ignored it already because we've ignored it already, so that the content does not go to Git. So if anybody goes to my Git account and download this project, the person will not have access to these node modules and its content. And that means the application will not run. Because, for instance, we are getting something from node modules here. We are getting something from node modules here also. And if these things are being gotten from the node modules and somehow the person doesn't have access to the node modules, then there is no way this application will run. So that is why you have the package.json. the package.json keeps record of those things in the node modules. I think that's a good way to look at it. It keeps record of those things, the version and the extension and the what's it called? The name and the version of those things inside the node modules. So that if that person now gets to his own system, his or her own system, the person can now run a single command. As time goes on, we're going to see that command. When the person just writes a single command, it will now go to this package.json, look at the content, look at those things inside these dependencies, then go online and create a new node module for that person on that person's device. Then it will install everything inside that person's node modules. I come again. So the essence of this package.json is that when anybody goes to your Git account and download this project, the person does not have access to these node modules, yet the person needs the content of these node modules to run your application successfully. So the person will now run a command. In fact, the command is a very simple command. This is the command npm install. npm install. Okay. npm install. So the person will run this simple command. So what it's going to now do is that it will now go to the package.json, look for those things under the dependencies, then it goes online, download those things and the version. Remember, you put the version here. So it will download those things and the versions inside the person's node module. So it's going to create a new node modules folder for that person. Then download the name and the version. So that the person's project now will now look exactly like yours. Do you understand how this works?
Yes, well.
So now the person's application will now start running again. So let's stop here tonight. So tomorrow we're going to continue from this place. Any question?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot this night, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jacob, Sam Sachs, Sister Moji. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with their network.
So I think it's a network.
Okay. I will send